Thank you very much, Craig. And so far in our semifinal, it has been an up-and-down match for this team that has gotten together the first week. And the opposition, of course, is the #2 seed of Canyon Ceman and Dane Blanton. And I say, of course, they move up to the #2 seed. They have taken care of business and have been playing exceptionally well. But Kerins and Henry Russell started out with a 4-1 lead on the good side, which they occupy as of now. But as the teams change sides in these windy conditions, Canyon Ceman and Dane Blanton closed it to 6-4 as they go back over to the bad side, and that is where we stand right now. There is Henry Russell, 28 years old, former Marine from Florida, and his partner Mark Kerins, an All-American at Long Beach State. And both of them dumped their respective partners, more on that in a minute, to get together, and they've been playing exceptionally well. Big bang by Canyon Ceman for the side out. Once again, semifinal action here in Cape Cod. Kerins and Russell on top 6-4. There is Dane Blanton. Had a superb season so far. Won the first Miller Lite AVP Grand Slam at Hermosa with Canyon Ceman. See his right ankle taped, bothered by a sprained ankle that he suffered in a match earlier against Karch Kurai and Adam Johnson. And we'll get you an update to see how much that will affect him. Henry Russell, we talked about his former Marine status, originally from the state of Florida, was based in Hawaii during the time he was a Marine. That's where he fell in love with beach volleyball. Moved back and forth, was bi-coastal for a while, but now living in the South Bay in Southern California. That's a net violation on Canyon Ceman, and he's going to argue about it, but Tim, I think it was pretty clear.
His hand's in the cookie jar, no doubt about it. It's kind of a weak argument.
Yeah.
Came in there with too much momentum, couldn't stop. From the net cam. Watch him coming right through. There's the call right there. Mark says instant point.
Well, that makes it 7-4. We're down to 3 minutes and 16.6 seconds on our Swatch timer. And what about this team of Kerins and Russell? Pretty good serving team, but maybe they lack some things defensively.
No doubt about it. That's their weakness, is their defense and their blocking. They're a good jump serve team. They can side out with anybody. But if they can make some plays on defense and get some transitions, they'll be a team to be reckoned with.
And set the ball pretty well, and lots of sound effects from Mark Kerins.
The loudest team on the beach, bar none. You should hear him in warm-ups. They grunt in warm-ups. It's like Monica Seles on both sides of the court.
Their first tournament together, as Craig Hummer mentioned. Second with Andrew Smith earlier this year in Miami, a 5th at Fort Myers, and a 7th at New England last year was his best finish of 96, also with Andrew Smith. There,
bring the heat, baby. He sets that up with a hard cross court. His hard cross court brings the block in. He lets the ball droop over. Watch this turn down the line. Maximum heat.
32nd tournament together for Ceman and Blanton, and this week seeded #2, so they have certainly skyrocketed with a good 1997 season. Pretty nice dig, but not enough room for Canyon Ceman. Side out to Kerins and Russell.
You can see that both Kerins and Russell use their hands a lot. If they're passing the ball, like they're on the good side, and they get those good hands to put the ball up there, and they can really side out.
Asked Henry Russell about his background as a Marine. I said, why did you join? He said, I was a high school senior, and I was young, and I was stupid.
Yeah.
But it served him pretty well.
He's straightening him up a little bit.
Nice block, or into the top of the tape. Take your pick.
I'm calling net block on there.
That makes it 8-5.
From the net cam, let's see. I just don't think that pass. Mark says, I got that block, but the camera tells no lies.
Look at the road that Ceman and Blanton have taken. They have played some tough matches, so during this 3-day tournament. It has not been particularly humid this weekend. You wonder if it's taken its toll.
I don't think so. They're in great shape with that cross-court smash right there, which Dane Blanton is known for. Probably the best cross-court hitter on tour right now.
There is Canyon Ceman. Everybody said that this young man had star written all over him, and they were talking about indoors and on the beach. His indoor career is over, and on the beach,
up to me.
Already, with Ceman and Blanton having won one of the majors this year, he has, if anything, arrived in two top 4 finishes all last year. Already this season, they have 5 or 6, so having a super season.
If he can get his blocking together a little bit, that would really help his game.
Ceman from the right. Pretty good touch by Kerins. And through the block of Henry Russell.
That was a very nice up by Kerins, scrambling. Good defensive prowess right there.
Not known for their defense. Anything they get, particularly on the good side, is very, very good.
Kerins laying out, bringing the ball, getting the ball back over. Didn't get the point, but wore him down a little bit.
Blanton just floating deep, and that ball. What about the wind conditions here today? We've had it all weekend long.
It's not as windy as it's been the last couple of days. Right now, Henry Russell's going back to jump serve on the good side. Ceman and Blanton want to get 1 or 2 points. They get 2 points over there, that's gravy. But they've got to hold on.
Russell, last year's most improved player on the Miller Lite AVP Tour.
Oh, that's sweet.
If you were blocking against Dane Blanton, I would venture a guess, unless the set was right on top of the net, you'd be taking his cross court.
My left hand would be hurting. Hit that left hand over the net and let him see it, and you take it away. Let him hit 4 or 5 of those hard line shots, but he wants to go angle. He wants angle. Take what he wants away.
Dane Blanton, an All-American outside hitter in his collegiate career at Pepperdine University, primarily hit on the left side and primarily hit hard cross court. 8-4 here in our semifinal. Henry Russell and Mark Kerins, a surprise team of the weekend of the tournament. It has been a marvelous 4th of July for them. Henry Russell trying to get into his second final of the year. The first was with Eric Wirtz, and Mark Kerins trying to do the same. His first was with a different partner as well, Andrew Smith.
Henry Russell never was the same after that San Antonio. It took him a couple of weeks. He was dehydrated, didn't look right. He's just coming back after that. Sweet hands by Canyon.
Cross court again. If the set's off the net, Dane Blanton is just going to bomb away.
When you're setting up to receive serve, look at his hands are wide. Nice pass, comforts it. Sweet hands by Canyon. Easy cross court kill.
How would you rank Canyon Ceman right now at this stage of the season in terms of setting the ball?
Top 4.
After this side out, I want to hear who the top 3 are on the POV meter.
You got it. And blocking, I'm not sure about.
Yeah, but that ball, literally, I think, Tim, that ball flew out of bounds. Wind blowing at the backs of Dane Blanton and Canyon Ceman right now.
That's because his hands are not pressing the net. He's back off the net like that. If he's over the net, that ball's coming back at the 10-foot line.
So his hands are facing our baseline super bleacher as opposed to the court.
I want the full pike position down.
Turn him down and get a stuff block. Russell with the jump serve, keeping it on Canyon Ceman. Off the top of the block.
Smart hitter. Sees the block, goes off the top, takes what they give him. That's why he graduated in 4 years from Stanford.
With 2 degrees.
Yeah. That's hard enough with 1, but with 2. He must have had a lot of time on his hands.
I don't think so. Just a pretty good work ethic like he does on the volleyball. Side out for Russell and Kerins. Again, semifinal action, just under 2 minutes to play, and Russell and Kerins on top 8-4.
Canyon setting up, brings it back over, but can't control it, and Kerins goes over on 1, side out.
Once again, Ceman and Blanton just looking for a little break on the bad side, try to close this out with their serving on the good side. Yeah. What about Kerins defensively and his positioning behind Henry Russell, who's a pretty good sized guy? You know, Henry Russell's listed at 6'6", so he should be able to put up a pretty good block.
He's a good blocker. He's got good hand movement. I think right there, he's going to be coming towards the ball. He's going away from the ball. That's a bad sign. If you want to improve on defense, watch Mike Dodd.
Henry Russell's been watching Randy Stokes quickly on, too. That's one way to save a jump.
That won't happen again. The left-handed, ugly cut shot. Somebody should reject that and throw that back, but
not very giving on this holiday weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Russell and Kerins leading by 4. Minute 45 to play in our semifinal. That ball is stuffed by Mark Kerins. Nice shot in terms of blocking the ball and turning it back in down the line from Canyon Ceman.
3 stuffed blocks by Mark Kerins. Watch his left hand penetrate, puts the ball back down. Good reaction. He's back.
Of course, Mark Kerins and Henry Russell have never won on the Miller Lite AVP Tour, looking for their first. They've been in a couple of finals, as we talked about, both of them this year, but have never closed the deal. Oh, look at that.
High karate, knowing he has a black belt in karate, and he used every ounce of it right there.
Defense is a problem, but if you hit the ball right to me, most of these guys can make a play.
High karate, up and over the net. Good reaction. He was in the right position. Kind of lucky, but it's a point.
10-4 lead now, and really starting to put some distance in spite of the fact that, of course, one more swing, and they're going to be going over to the good side. I'm talking about Ceman and Blanton.
The fact of the matter is that we're down to 135 now. What they want to do is side out a little bit on the good side. Maybe get the clock under 50. They go to the bad side, they can hold on.
Now, would a team like Kerins and Russell think about, hey, look, let's just side out for a while, forget about really concentrating on scoring points and stall to stay on the good side?
Would they think about it? I don't know. When I used to play, yes, I would think about it. I wouldn't mind staying over here. These guys come over and serve 5 aces quicker than you can bat an eye. I would think about it.
I would not be jump serving at this point. I'd float serve just to run a few valuable nanoseconds off the clock. Those are the sorts of things that you have to think about when you have a chance to get into a championship match. Dane Blanton, 6'3", 195 pounds. He's already won $75,000 this year. Won $75,000 all of last year. And as long as Henry Russell and Mark Kerins side out, as we saw from Stephenson Loyola last week, it is hard to lose.
Side out marathon. Right now, I think Dane Blanton should serve short and follow it up. Try to mix it up. They have to get 5, get on the good side. Kenyon hasn't had a block today. Dane is obviously a better blocker.
Oh, big break. That might have at least saved them some hope to get back into the semifinal. Again, semifinal action here from the Cape Cod Mall, and beautiful Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Another look at a very fortuitous bounce for Dane Blanton. Great
play out of the net by Canyon Ceman, and using the top of the net. Let's see if that turns over for a point.
Russell's got some pretty good hands. Dane Blanton thought he should have been all over that soft shot from Mark Kerins. It turns into a side out.
Dane saw that coming all the way, didn't execute the block, uses them out of bounds.
Mark Kerins was telling us a little bit about his volleyball background, and he was a walk-on at Long Beach State, ended up spending 5 years there, had to redshirt, and eventually became an All-American.
Don wanted to get out of high school, decided to make some of it. He was a good college player, went on the national team for a couple of years. Fred Sturm gave him the walking notice, but he took it and came to the beach, and he's proved himself.
He had some good experiences internationally. He played in the '91 Pan American Games in Cuba and also competed in the World League competition for the United States and the USA Cup against Argentina. So has played a lot of indoor volleyball as well.
Oh, a no call. They're going to be griping about that when he came out with 2 hands. Henry Russell knows he got away with something.
Yeah. There's a massage service offered at our hotel, but that was a massage of the volleyball.
He left a finger in it. It came out 1-2. You got to come out with all 10 Indians at one time. Didn't happen. He let it go. Beasley is pretty lenient referee.
That ball was in his hands for a long, long time, and he changed direction with it. Time continues to wind down to 50 seconds. Make that 51.5 seconds left. And Dane Blanton and Canyon Ceman are in deep trouble. They need to score here and sprint over to the good side. It's been a solid performance so far by Henry Russell and Mark Kerins. Oh, that was a big play.
That's a big play. Great pokey by Kerins on the cover.
Boy, to me, that almost does it. If they get a stuff block and really get some momentum. Remember, this year on the Miller Lite AVP Tour, you have to win by 2. Right. So they don't have to get back and tie this match up. I'm speaking of Ceman and Blanton in order to send it into overtime. They're just looking to get within 1. And with that stuff block and a couple of aces from the good side, they would certainly be capable. Kerins to serve. He and Henry Russell on top 10-4. The clock now under 40 seconds.
He's got a wily arm. Really brings the heat. That thing was rising when it hit Mark in the chest.
And I don't think Kerins and Russell, they don't care about scoring another point. They're just trying to side out right here.
If they can listen to the broadcast, they decided to take a little something off.
They're the number 9 seed, so it would certainly be a surprise if they got into the finals. 37.8 seconds left on our Swatch game timer. Semifinals here in Cape Cod. The Miller Lite AVP Championships of New England. $135,000 in prize money. $27,000 to the winners. Oh, that's going to do it. I think this is about over. And Henry Russell and Mark Kerins are feeling very, very good. Both have been in a final respectively this season earlier on, but now with their new partnership, they're trying to get it done once again. Semifinal with just 34 seconds left. One of the factors we think an injury to Dane Blanton's ankle. And for an update on that, let's get down courtside to Craig Hummer. Craig?
Thanks, Paul. I didn't get a chance to talk to Dane personally, but I did talk to one of the doctors, and he said in the previous game, Dane actually turned onto the outside of his ankle. He taped it up very heavily to try to prevent any swelling, and even though he said it probably wouldn't affect him, the play seems to show that it has. Back to you.
Thank you very much, and certainly the scoreboard does, as the higher seed, number 2 seeded team, Canyon Ceman and Dane Blanton, already a winner this year of a Miller Lite Grand Slam event. I would think they would come in as not necessarily a prohibitive favorite, but I would pick them to win. And it has been all so far. Henry Russell and Mark Kerins, they go on top now 12-4. And this semifinal with only 28.5 seconds left is over.
Say goodnight. Close the door. Dane Blanton going for the 2-on-2. Goes in the middle of the tape.
Be interesting to see how Russell and Kerins can match up in their rematch against Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh. They met in the finals of the winner's bracket. Dodd and Whitmarsh came out victorious.
15-11. They played them pretty tight. They had a little bit in the middle stretch here where they didn't side out. It'll be a good match, especially with the wind coming up like it is. That's more an advantage for Russell and Kerins.
I think Dodd and Whitmarsh are very, very hungry,
having
not won since Dallas, having suffered through 117th and 9th last week, but they know, they've come to terms with the fact that Mike Dodd, who suffered that very serious ankle dislocation in Miami, has continued to play through it, is not going to be 100% this season. So this is an opportunity for them to win one. Another unforced error, and Ceman and Blanton have pretty much resigned themselves to the fact. 13-4. Russell and Kerins have been in control throughout. 4-1 at the first side change. And then it got as close as 6-4 as Ceman and Blanton went over to the good side. But since that time, the number 9 seeds, Henry Russell and Mark Kerins, have been in complete control.
What is he doing?
Just run out the clock and say goodbye. That's the end of it. That ball's long. We'll have one more rally. 5.1 seconds left.
Dane shouldn't be running the clock out, but I think he
looked at the scoreboard and looked at the clock.
And looked at his ankle.
And looked at his ankle. And figures an ice bucket is awaiting probably most of his body, but certainly his ankle. And the clock has expired, and that'll do it. For the second time this year, but not together, the number 9 seeded team of Henry Russell and Mark Kerins have advanced to a final. Congratulations to them, Dane Blanton and Canyon Ceman. Very good team will finish a very respectable 3rd. We're just getting started here in Cape Cod. Stay with us.